If you have a 2005 to 2009 Range Rover and you want to add Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatibility without losing any of the factory displays, like this is the video for you. Today I'll be installing a NAVTOOL interface that's completely plug and play and doesn't remove any part of the original radio or navigation system. I'll be walking through the whole installation process on my 2007 Range Rover, including configuring the interface, running the audio wire to the aux input, and testing out Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So let's get to it. Alright, so before we start installing things, let's take a look at what's included in the box. So first we have a tech support number, there's a live chat on their website, and a little bit of information on some connections to make, which looks like it's for the built-in microphone in the car. We have a harness right here. So let's take a look at that. This is the main harness for the adapter box. We've got a bunch of video inputs because you can install a rear camera, a side camera on either side, and a front camera. We have, okay, this is one of the connectors they're referring to here. And it looks like this is the other. We have a couple other connectors here. We have another harness, which I believe this goes in line with the car harness. And this side goes to the unit's harness. Right here we have a one from that, which should connect to this one here. We have the unit itself, which feels nice and sturdy, which has a micro USB, an antenna connector, USB, and HDMI. So USB would be input for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and this is an input for any HDMI device you want to use. Got our plugs right here. This one is that connector, and these are for these two right here. We have a micro USB cable, which we'll get into later. We have a aux input. This goes to the aux input of the truck, and this will go to our harness right here, and then our Wi-Fi antenna. Now, one thing we'll notice right here is there's a notice, stop, interface is not configured. Interface must be configured prior to installation in the vehicle. Please go to config.navtool.com. So that is why this micro USB cable is included, so we can configure this to match the settings we need and the vehicle we're installing it in. So let's go do that. All right, first step in the configuration is to go to config.navtool.com, and then we'll follow the instructions on the screen. So first thing is to connect the interface using the cable. All right, it's plugged in. Let's click connect device to computer. Okay, now we should click on that. Click on car interface. Okay, we are connected. Okay, pick our make. I'm going to Land Rover. Range Rover. And we are in a 2007. So, automatic transmission. Search. My selection is correct. Now we have to pick our firmware. So we'll pick for cars with or without navigation. I'm not entirely sure what front camera activation does, but I'm going to stick without that. Next, we hit install. And like it says here, if you want to change the software, if we want to go to the other version, we can just plug it in and do that. All right, just click once. All right, update completed. Okay, let's go to video input settings. Oh, and we can do these adjustments from the interface once it's in the car. Factory rear camera, yeah, that's what we're going to use. Then you have options for aftermarket cameras, a little more information on these, front camera, left camera, and right camera. You can add those cameras here. Save that. Okay, now we can go to device settings. Yeah, we want, I'm going to use auto on for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so it'll automatically go into that. Okay, interface audio feedback, so we can hear that the unit powers on. I'm going to leave that on for now. Manual activation as reverse trigger. I'm going to set this to off because I'm using the built-in camera. Save, and we can disconnect the interface. So we're back in the trunk, and we're going to access where we're going to be doing this work, which is just right here. So we can pull this panel out. We're going to be working in this area. So this module here is the DVD module for the GPS. And that's what we're going to be piggybacking on for this interface. Now you notice I don't have a DVD player here, which is for the rear seat entertainment. So this is actually where our box is going to go. All of our connections are going to be made using the wires that are behind this drive. So let's get it out of here. So one option is to unbolt the 4 7mm bolts here. The other is going to be to just pull this frame out. So I'm going to use these here and these 2 down here, and I think, okay, there's 4. So we've got 2 nuts up here, and down here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. 10, 8, 8. Don't want to drop those. Tip that forward. We have our connections. All right. But obviously, depending on what's plugged in, it may be easier for you to just remove this drive. You can just pull it forward, but we're actually in a pretty good place right here. So these are our connectors here. Let's see what we have. We've got this cam lock, so we're gonna push down here. I think, pull that out. That's the main connector here. We've got our antenna. That, I don't think we have a matching one on our harness. And we have this, which is, let's see. This is our intermediate harness. So this matches up with that. It'll only fit one way. And like that, pull that in. That's in. We have this side, which will go into the harness here, or into the drive here. Okay, that looks good. Now our light blue connector went back here. You can kind of see there, it's a little flat. So that's gonna be our 2 connectors here. So I believe that will match up with this. So you can see there's 2 types, a female and a male. One side is gonna go into the back here, down there. It looks like that. So this one here is gonna go into this. There's a little arrow here. That's gonna go towards the top here, I think. Yep. Good. And then this side here is going to go into there. And it'll only fit one way because it has the 2 little raised parts there. And we have our main harness here. And I want to make sure, yeah, this is gonna connect to that. This is definitely connecting to here, 1 to 1. Match those up. Here we go. We also have, this doesn't match up to anything on that harness, so it's gonna stay disconnected. We have this here. I'm just gonna connect to the matching one on that harness. There we go. This cable we'll put through. The other one on the other side, connecting to the blue plug, will also go through. We're gonna put all of this through there. And then we're gonna hang it back into place. Nope. Up here and out of the way. So now we have all our harnesses here. We got this. We got this in the back. Back connected. Oh, and then we have our sound output. So I guess we'll connect that now too. Because this one's gonna have to run to the back. It's probably under the carpet. If it's long enough. Plug this in here. Audio output, left and right. And now we just have to do the box itself right here. We're gonna connect our antenna here. And on this side we have our two little cables right here and our main harness right here. So main harness going in, snapped in. Oh, it beeped, powered on. And we have these two. I'm not sure which one is in, which one is out, but since it's a pass-through, it shouldn't matter. We'll see. There we go. And I guess now we can test it. Let's see, what do I need? I'm gonna need a USB-C cable to plug in my phone. Well, actually, we can test it right now as it is, I think. I can prop this up so we can monitor the lights on there and go see up front. Oh, I don't have the audio output connected to the rear, but we just want to see if it works. All right, so it's supposed to be GPS. Yep, there we go. iOS, Android, home, settings. Home. Okay. Your phone's Bluetooth and search. Oh, wireless Android Auto is built in? All right, let's see. Connected. Pair. Up. There it is. Whoa, that's so cool. And I think if you, okay, you press that, it'll toggle back in, but if you press and hold, it switches back to the factory GPS. And yeah, you can hear it beep in the back. That's so cool. That's neat. And then just back out to all your other stuff and then toggle back in. That's so cool. Now we can run the audio wire. There's not a lot of length for that, so we're gonna have to get a longer extension for this. That's not a huge deal. But until then, does it reach? Okay. I'll leave that here for just a second. I'm gonna test it real quick. That's really cool. Really very cool. So since this cable isn't quite long enough to plug in the way I want to, or to route it the way I want to, I bought a 10-foot extension right here. So we're gonna plug that in. And then we're gonna figure out where to run that. But first, we're going to position this, because we're gonna tuck this in here. There's a lot of length here, but Maybe we can run it. Maybe I can do a little zip tie to keep this as a loop. Go get some. We'll see if that was the right move. Push that in. Nope. Okay, that was not the right move. I think this is too close. Oh, there we go. Ideally, I'd like to mount it here, like that. I think that may work. That looks pretty good. So I've got this 3M dual lock tape, which is sold under the Scotch brand. You don't have to get a huge roll like this, but that's what I'm using. They sell them in little strips like this at the hardware store. So we're gonna peel this off here. Stick it under here. Okay, and then I can peel that off. Or maybe, there we go. Now we want to put this Wi-Fi antenna. It says antennas can't be attached to metal. Well, maybe we can wedge it in there or tuck it in here for now. Actually, we'll tuck it over here. If I hear it rattle, I'll definitely come in here and put some fabric tape on stuff. But what's nice is this, I can just pop the Velcro type lock. Just pop that up, pull it out, and adjust everything. So I'll probably wrap that up in fabric tape at some point. And now we can worry about, well, actually let's bolt this back in. And then we can take care of our audio cable routing. There we go. All right. So we need our audio cable to come here. And then we want to tuck it away. So here's what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna run it out of here. It's gonna loop up, but later on I actually have a right angle coming soon, so I'll have it run down. And I think we're gonna go under here, maybe run it under the floor mats and then over towards the door. And then once we get here, we can come up in here, under the seat, and back here under this panel here, which we can remove and just run it to there. Okay, so this comes out, just twists off, and then over there we have a 6mm Allen head. Just move this out of the way. I don't know if we need to take it out completely, but we can run our cable under here. I think we should leave the connection point in here. So we're gonna just run this part over. Actually, I'm gonna plug this in and walk from the other side. We want to get this in here. Now once we're here, we can just tuck this in this area. This comes forward, this panel. So there we go. And then we just pop this under here. If we can. go. You can plug this in here. Let's see. Go. Now I guess another option would be to go under the carpet and come out under the under there and bring it over. But so far this looks good. Later on when I get the right angle mount, I'll probably tuck this away and attach it out of the way, and we'll be good. Using the mats, looks like it'll work really well for now. And then later on I can look at other options if I'm back in here. Cool, that's it up here until I get the right angle adapter. Let's get this back in. There we go, move it back. All right, let's go test this out again. Oh, right, no, I'm not done. I realized I forgot something. We gotta put these back in. And our hold down. All right, we're all tucked in here. We just access it pretty easily. And yeah, we're good to go test this out again. All right, we are in. It's connected. Let's double check that our audio is coming through the aux. That's good. All right, so now we're in. Actually, if we hit that, we can go to our, what's our home page? That's our info here. So if you have the cameras plugged in, you would be able to toggle between them. If you want to go to your HDMI input, just tap that. There's no signal because I don't have anything plugged in. So our settings, like parking lines, these camera settings, our contrast settings, brightness, and then in here for our CarPlay and Android Auto, we have some other settings. Audio settings. Mic sensitivity, use original mic, yes. We're not using original Bluetooth audio. Automatic echo cancellation. Okay, interesting. I might have to do that again with the windows up, but so I think that automatic echo cancellation tunes the setup so that when you're listening to someone talk on a phone call, it doesn't get picked up in the microphone. So we'll have to test that out later. Wireless CarPlay settings, wireless Android Auto settings, Wi-Fi channel UI settings. Oh, you can change the wallpaper, okay. Maybe if I plug in a USB drive, I can put in a Land Rover logo or something. Driver position, we're on the left, but if you're in the UK, you'll probably want right. It'll set up the interface for you with the steering wheel on the right-hand side. And language, information, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Very cool. Now, one thing I'll point out is this doesn't upgrade the screen. The screen is still good old 2007 touchscreen technology. Well, actually, it's not 2007 touchscreen technology. It's whatever it was when they started developing this truck. So probably early 2000s. So it's very much just a click and go. So you're not going to be able to click and drag. So you're going to want to use your arrow keys. It's relatively responsive, so not too bad. And this is not a comment on the quality of the box, but more reflects on the screen. So this is a good example of a situation where using the voice controls is a good idea. So, hey Google, play. All right, that's really cool. And then what I love about this, and the reason I went for this over a screen replacement, because they do make replacement screens that fill this whole thing, and it's a modern screen and all that. but you do lose all these displays. So we get all our settings in here, and that's really nice. So you can just toggle between, you know, you're off-roading, oh, you don't need to listen to your music, switch that. Maybe you're on the highway, you want to see what your fuel economy is, switch back, hop over to the radio, and it's all here. So it's really exciting. Now let's test this out with CarPlay. iOS. Okay, so we have to connect it from here, it looks like. Settings. Turn on phone's Bluetooth. Match that. I'm gonna connect to CarPlay. Oh, we're in. Oh, can we? No, we can't swipe through. Oh, there it is. Nope. Go back to the apps. Here you gotta tap the buttons. It's not as easy, but it works well. Just have to keep in mind that you can't swipe across the menu. You'll have to click on the little dots to get around the apps, but works great. Oh, and one last thing, we put the car in reverse. It pops up the backup camera, the factory backup camera. This is a very cool upgrade, and I'm really looking forward to using it out on the road. I will say it's $549 after a $50 discount at checkout, but the installation is really straightforward since you don't need to splice any wires or remove the dash to access the screen. It looks like NAVTOOL has been updating these units over time because previous kits required splicing some wires, and now we have factory style connectors. Built-in wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay were also a nice surprise because we didn't have to run a long USB cable to the front or use a wireless adapter dongle. If you plan on purchasing one of these interfaces, be sure to create an account during the process. The best way to track your order status is through your account page. If this video helped you out, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have any questions about the install, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, or you want to see all the work I've done to this Supercharged Range Rover that I bought for only $850, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.